We need to talk about this as though our life depended on it, because there is a good possibility that our life may actually depend on it. It's one of these things that we've probably seen before, but we scroll right past it because we thought maybe it didn't apply to us, or, it has no relevance to us, or maybe even the explanation that you saw was too scientific, too medical, that you couldn't relate to it. And sometimes, guys, to be quite honest, we don't pay attention to things that we just don't understand. But today I realized, we need to stop that scroll and pay attention, because it is actually that important. As a matter of fact, I normally do my filming on the weekends because of my job, and I'm just getting home from work. It's like, you know what? This cannot wait any longer. You turn on this camera, film this message, and let the people know. And the thing that we need to talk about is visceral fat. Now, you guys, is not the kind of fat that you can reach out and touch, all right? That you can pinch, around your waistline. This fat is the fat that is deep inside your abdominal cavity, that wraps itself around our internal organs. You guys, this thing can be a killer. And today we are going to talk about it because it is, in fact, that important. Back to the topic at hand, which is the visceral fat. Now, I know I opened with all the gloom and the doom, because you guys, this thing is a serious thing, this visceral fat, all right? But let me just say this, okay, to give you some encouragement. Visceral fat can be controlled by lifestyle changes. So if we have it, it does not mean it's the end. If we have it, it doesn't mean that, oh my gosh, we got to move heaven and earth, okay, to get this thing under control. Some simple lifestyle changes, okay, can rid our bodies of this thing called visceral fat. So before we get into the ways that we can do that, let's start by talking about what visceral fat is and how it got there in the first place. All right, guys, as I mentioned at the top of this video, visceral fat is not the type of fat that you can reach out and touch and pinch, okay? It's not that subcutaneous fat that we hear a lot of sub-meaning under, okay? It's not that fat. It's the fat that is deep inside of our abdominal cavity. It is wrapped around our liver, our intestines, and you guys, it is inflammatory in nature. I mean, this stuff is toxic to the point where it can cause us to have type 2 diabetes. It can increase our blood pressure, heart disease, and it can also lead to stroke. Now, how did it get there? And we've all heard this before, okay? If you consume more food, then you expend energy, then your body becomes a storage bin, okay? For fat. It's basically just that simple. You consume more than your body expends, and it's going to store itself in your body. And it also is because of inactivity. Okay, we're not moving enough, which we'll talk about that too. Our poor sleep habits. Okay. We got to shut it down, guys, when we need to shut it down, so that we can get a good night's sleep. And then the other way that it accumulates in our body is stress. And as a matter of fact, I made a video recently where I talked about stress, cortisol. So check that out as well after you finish watching that, because it will definitely give you some good tips as far as reducing and managing the stress. Now that we know what it is, how it came to be, now let's talk about how we get rid of it. And one of the ways that we can get rid of it, you guys, is our diet, okay? And throughout the years, we have complicated things when it comes to our diets. We really have. There's 1,000,001 ways out there that we can eat foods, not eat, how we put things together, etc. But the simplest way, okay, that we should think about it is if it's not a whole food, if it's got more ingredients than it's supposed to have, which means it's probably laden with chemicals, then we should not consume it, okay? Our bodies are not machines. We're not robots. We're humans. Our bodies actually do know what they're supposed to do when we give it the right things and the right stimulus. And whole foods is one of the right things that we give it, okay? So whole foods, I am talking about talking about the protein. Protein, you guys. I did a video about that as well. The importance of protein. And as a matter of fact, if you can do this, make protein the priority in each and every one of your meals for the following reasons that I explained in this video. Protein. You guys, protein is structural. Okay, protein is in our muscles, it's in our bones, it's in our skin, it's in our tissues, it's in our organs, it's in our blood. Did not realize how important protein was for our bodies. Again, you can't do what you don't know. Okay, so if you are that person like I was that person, don't beat yourself up. Can't do what you don't know. But now I know, so I'm making better decisions for me and this body. So protein, okay, just to give you some more information, protein is vital because it builds and repairs our body tissues like the muscles and the skin and the bones. So I just mentioned that. It acts as the building blocks for essential molecules. It plays a key role in functions like our metabolism, immune defense, and hormone production. Protein supports our muscle maintenance, tissue repair. It helps counteract muscle loss, sarcopenia. Our muscle decline starts in our 30s, you guys, and exponentially it goes up. The decline goes up at least as we continue to age. So that is why we really have to be mindful of making sure that we make protein. I do, at least. I call protein the leading actor on my plate. And then the other things I put on my plate are the supporting actors, okay? You know, that's just an analogy that I came up with because, again, I didn't realize how important protein is for our diet. So that is the leading actor on my plate these days for the reasons that I mentioned. Also, that metabolism, because protein takes more energy to break down in our body, okay? That means that it is producing more energy, therefore it is increasing our metabolism. Another thing with protein is that because it does in fact take longer to break down in our system, it keeps us satiated and feeling full a lot longer. So that's another reason why to make protein that leading actor on your plate. We've got our complex carbs. Those are the carbs that don't break down rapidly in our system, won't spike our blood sugar level, and they give us energy. They give us energy, and they do in fact keep us satisfied. Things such as the beans and the lentils and the brown rice, the quinoa, the sweet potatoes, our leafy greens, you guys. I never have a plate these days without my leafy greens, whether it's the lettuce or the kale or the greens, the spinach, things such as that. I mean, so very important, nutrient rich. They have fiber, okay, to help our digestive systems, and they are satisfying, okay? So our plate protein, okay, our complex carbs, our leafy greens. And when you start making your plate that way, you will definitely curtail a lot of the food cravings that you are accustomed to having. And a matter of fact, a lot of times it's just retraining your palate, retraining your appetite. You know, once you go about a week without having those things that you're not supposed to have, such as, it's a good leading into the things that we should not be having, okay? The processed foods, you guys. You pick up a bag of something and then it has, like, say for instance, if it's got chicken and then it's got 50 other things in it, you know, that is not a whole food. That is something, okay, that they mixed, that they spliced with other things, okay? You know, a lot of times to make it taste good, all right, to make it efficient for our busy schedules, but it's not good for us. So just please do keep that in mind. When you go to the store, okay, you got to start thinking about the things that actually are good for you and not, quick and easy, okay, because of time factors. You have to, if time is in fact a factor, which again, I know, you have to start learning to food prep. That will go a long way in keeping you away from the processed foods, keeping you away from the sugars, keeping you away from the white flours and the white rice and the white potatoes, stuff like that. All right. So that is what you need to do as it pertains to your diet. Keep it simple. Okay. I am now in my 60s and I live by the acronym, keep it simple, senior. KISS, keep it simple, senior. And I am so much the better for it, you guys. So that's what we do as far as our diet is concerned. And then the next key thing, okay, as far as reducing the visceral fat is movement. We got to move, okay? Movement, exercise is more than a vanity thing, all right? We have to move so that we keep our hearts healthy, okay? That we keep our circulation moving, okay? That we keep our bone density intact. That we keep our muscles intact. Those are some of the reasons why we've got to move each and every day, even if it's 5-10 minutes a day, a couple times during the day. It is so key critical for us, particularly as we age. And one of the things that we really need to pay attention to, you guys, is muscle training. We got to pay attention to these muscles, okay? Because when we reach like the age of 40, the muscle mass starts to deteriorate at a rapid rate. And as we get older, sarcopenia can actually set in, okay? That is a rapid reduction in our muscle. And a lot of times what happens is our bodies actually feed on our muscle. So that's why we got to consume the protein. That's why we have got to move our bodies by incorporating some type of resistance training, that being even your own body weight. If you're starting out, okay, you can use your own body weight as the resistance. You can use resistance band. You can use a Pilates bar. Obviously, you can use the weights. Use light weights. Use a water bottle, you guys. All right, a water bottle, depending upon if like a 2 liters or something like that, it's about 2 pounds. All right, get 2 of those. And just have at it. But it is so important to incorporate some type of muscle strength training into your regimen. And then the other type of exercise that you need to do, but not a strenuous form of this, is cardio, okay? Because cardio definitely has a place in our exercise regimen, heart health, circulation, okay, endurance. So very important. But the type of cardio that you do, okay, can help you lose weight, or it can make you store fat.
What just happened?
All right. The craziest thing, but that's exactly what it does. All right. Because if we do something that is too strenuous, our bodies feel as though it's under attack. And when it's under attack, it goes into survival mode. And one of the things that it does is it will store fat on our bodies, okay, while we get through whatever that danger is. So keep that in mind, okay? Do not go full on extreme when it comes to cardio, especially as we age, because again, it's sending the wrong signals to our body, and that is store onto the fat instead of releasing it as energy. And the last thing that we're going to talk about today to reduce this visceral fat is fixing our sleep. And I was pointing at me because I've got a problem with sleep. I have had a problem, you guys, for years with sleep. And I thought let me tell you something. I thought over all these years, okay, that not requiring a lot of sleep was a good thing. And I kind of sort of still think that way, because I'm just so productive, in my life, and, always in this, I got to get the things done so that they don't stack up on me and build up, because that is not, a feeling like that I like to have, because for me, that produces stress, having a huge task or to-do list. So I have a tendency of wanting to get things done. So I don't sleep a lot. I get up early in the mornings because I favor mornings. I love the mornings, okay? I will get up 4 o'clock, even on the weekends, because I love the mornings. I love the quiet of the morning. I like the fact, okay, that everything is still and peaceful, and I can get my thoughts together, in the morning, and then plan out what it is that I'm going to do. I'm just productive, in the morning. But the downside to that is that I go to sleep too late, and then I wake up too early, which means that I don't get enough sleep. So I've got to work on that, total transparency, because that is why we are here. We're working on being a better self together. And that's one of the things that I've got to work on, is fixing my sleep, you guys. And some of the things that you can do, which I know I am guilty of too, is you got to shut it down, turn it off at a reasonable time at night. Okay. And what I mean is decompress. Okay. Let go of the things that keep your mind active. Your cell phone. Okay. The TV, your laptop, those things. If you bring work home with you, put that work away. All right. And do something that is going to get you into a relaxed state of being, so that you can close those eyes and go to sleep and stay asleep. Other things that you can do to make sure that you can go to sleep and stay to sleep is, if you're accustomed to drinking caffeinated beverages too late in the day, stop it. Don't do it. Okay. Cut that out. Don't eat too late. That's another thing. If you go to sleep with too much food on your belly, you haven't done that before. It's a miserable feeling. And you're not going to sleep well. Okay. So make sure that you eat your last meal, if you can, 6, 7 o'clock, and then cut it off. Nothing else after that point. What else can you do? Remember, I mentioned the water. Okay. I do, in fact, drink a lot of water throughout the course of the day. I've got one of these at work with me as well. And then when I get home, I make sure that I keep this with me so I can get my, sufficient supply of water in throughout the day. But also, I got to make sure that I shut that down as well at a reasonable time, because otherwise, you guys, personal note, I'm gonna be up and down having to go to the bathroom and pee in the middle of the night, okay? And that is not a good thing. So those are a few pointers, okay, that you can do, all right, in order to, like I said, decompress, get your mind in a relaxed state of being, get your body in a relaxed state of being. As a matter of fact, another thing that I like to do at night too, when we talk about moving our bodies, I have a few Tai Chi exercises that I do that are totally relaxing to me. They just loosen my body up. They just relax me. And they do, in fact, put me in that relaxed, state of being. So you can do that as well, you guys. So again, some pointers, that you can adopt to get yourself in, it's time to sleep mode, and it's time to stay asleep mode, all right? And then, and for me is I got to adopt it and stay consistent with it. And then when my body gets used to getting that much sleep, because my body is not used to getting that much sleep, but when my body is actually used to getting that much sleep, it creates a habit. And then once it creates a habit, then my body is going to want it more. But I'm not yet there, but I'm working on it. All right, everyone. So that is our topic of today. Visceral fat, what it is, how it got there, and how we can control it. Again, at the beginning, it sounded like doom and gloom, but we definitely have the power. And now we've got the knowledge, to reverse this thing, And if you thought that you were alone, you thought you were fighting this battle alone, you are not alone, We are here with you. So you guys, please do remember, if this message was important and it enlightened you and if it edified you and you want to see more, or you want to see more healthy recipes that I bring you here on this channel, if you want to, move your body with us in this community, I've got a lot of that going on too. Please do remember to hit that subscribe button below, because all of what I do here is for the free, you guys. So having said that, I want to thank you all so very much for being here. Remember, it is a great day. And you continue to make it your own kind of special. And I will see you all right here real soon. And thanks for joining us.